I'd like to call this meeting of the Newington Board of Education to order for Wednesday, April 22nd, 2006. The time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Debbie, please call the roll.
Here.
Sean Halloran.
Here.
Marissa Lenzing.
Here.
Timothy Newton.
He'll be late.
Amy Parati.
Here.
Sam Sharma.
Here.
Brian Skibo.
We're here.
Dr. Gail Stanley.
Here.
Jessica Weaver.
Here.
I have everyone here except Mr. Newton.
Thank you. All right, our first presentation is for our everyday hero. Dr. Brummer, I'll turn it over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So our everyday hero for this evening is Mike Morgan, Director of Security and Residency. He's seated way down at the other end of the table. He was nominated by Jason Lambert and Tara Tigna, and I believe at least one of them is online. Here's what they wrote. We are honored to nominate Mike Morgan for the Everyday Hero Award in recognition of his exceptional dedication to the safety and well-being of our students, staff, and families. As Director of Residency and Security, Mike provides outstanding leadership and serves as an invaluable resource to administrators and staff across the district. He has direct oversight of all emergency protocols, including lockdowns and other critical response procedures, as well as creating safety operation plans for dances and events, and ensuring they are thorough, up-to-date, and effectively implemented. Mike has been instrumental in advancing our district's safety initiatives, most notably through the development and ongoing refinement of our threat assessment team. This team collaborates closely with local agencies, including the Newington Police Department, fostering a strong partnership that enhances student safety both in school and beyond. His work on additional protocols, such as relocation procedures, has left our schools feeling well prepared and confident in their ability to respond to emergencies. Beyond his strategic contributions, Mike consistently models composure, level-headedness, and professionalism in high-stress situations. He is exceptionally accessible, offering thoughtful guidance to staff both on and off school hours when navigating complex decisions related to student and school safety. As a collaborative thought partner, he helps identify the most effective strategies to support students and families and to plan proactive responses. Mike's supportive leadership extends to his school security team across the district, where his presence and mentorship have strengthened our overall security efforts. His work has brought genuine relief, reassurance, and heightened sense of security to students, staff, and families alike. At NHS, he is often seen in the cafeteria, helping students find their way and saying goodbye to them each afternoon. He has joined administration in listening to students' ideas and helped create plans that allow for activities, but ensuring safety is always the top priority. Mike Morgan embodies the qualities of an everyday hero through his steadfast commitment, expertise, and calm leadership in keeping our school community safe. He truly deserves this recognition.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you very much.
Here? Well, first you gotta do. Oh, or maybe not. Maybe.
With the.
But Deb is going to take a picture.
Yeah, I was going to be with you.
Got a lot of little ones around here.
Oh, you ready?
All right, here we go.
Hi, everybody. Mike, I'm never going to pass up a mic. So obviously what you heard is what we feel about Mike across the district. And today I said, what are you doing tonight? Going to a lacrosse game. And he was embarrassed and humbled to admit that he was coming here tonight. And I said, oh, like maybe a whole team, you know, maybe do this, a team or just like one person. He's like, his response just sums it up. He said, it's always a team. And that's truly how we operate in Newington Public Schools, specifically at Newington High School with our family of learners. and what Mike has brought since coming on board in the district. When we first, we lived on the same street at one point, but when we first worked together, I thought we were speaking a different language because we seemed to always, what appeared to be butting heads, but what we're really doing was understanding each other's love language, which at the end of the day was keeping students safe and putting them first. So we are truly a team. We're so happy to have him on board. So I think I speak on behalf of the entire district when I say thank you so much for all you do for our students and our staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And that's the truth. It's a team here. It's a team of administrators, teachers, support staff, security staff, board members. And, you know, one of the things that I find enjoyable about this district is we have a lot of people coming at a question or a problem or anything that we're addressing. We're coming from a lot of different angles with a lot of different backgrounds and experience. And there's a level of respect and professionalism here in this district that's pretty amazing. And that allows us to work collaboratively to come up with some pretty special solutions. And like Tara had mentioned, at the end of the day, when we're finished and we're arriving at the solutions or the plans that we're coming up with, the number one priority is the safety of our students and staff here in the district. And I'm very proud to be a part of it. So thanks for allowing me to be here tonight.
Jason, Mr. Lambert, would you like to say anything?
I would be honored to do so. It's been an absolute pleasure working with Mike. He's an awesome thought partner. He always puts students' safety and our staff safety first. And I appreciate his availability, you know, both on and off the clock. And he's a tremendous resource, and he loves the district. He loves working for the schools, and it shows in everything that he does. He's forward thinking. He's willing to be creative with solutions, and I am so honored to work with him, and I'm so excited that he's receiving this award tonight. Well deserved, Mike. We're so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll do everything all at once. So our next resolution is honoring our Newington teachers. We have our NTA president up here. So let me read this into the record. Resolution honoring Newington teachers, May 5th, which is in the future, 2026. Whereas May 5th, 2026 has been proclaimed as Newington Teacher Appreciation Day, and whereas the Newington Public School System is committed to honoring its teachers and recognizing their contributions to the educational system, and whereas the Newington Public School teachers are well qualified, very dedicated, and responsible for the shaping of minds of future citizens, and whereas the Newington Public School teachers provide instructional opportunities that help prepare the students for the demands of the challenging workplace environment, and whereas Newington Public School teachers help students understand the democratic principles that built this nation and how those foundations of freedom are serving as hope for people around the world. And whereas the commitment of the Newington Public School teachers to providing the best education possible for their students is exemplary, and it is the desire of the Board of Education that teachers should be made aware of their appreciation. Therefore, we do hereby proclaim Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 is Newington Teacher Appreciation Day. Be it resolved that we urge all the citizens of our community to join with us in actively expressing gratitude to Newington teachers who represent an investment and excellence in our community. Be it further resolved, the Secretary of the Newington Board of Ed is directed to spread this resolution upon the minutes of this meeting and to provide a suitable copy to the President of the Newington Teachers Association.
Thank you. This year especially, on behalf of the teachers of Newington Public Schools and all of my members who work in all 7 schools across the district with the students here in Newington, we really appreciate the support that you give us. It is because of the work that you do late at night and collaboratively as a group that allows us to do our best work with the students. And that's really why we got into education is we love spending time with our students and giving them that gift of learning. And we let you worry about some of the other things. So thank you for your support and thank you for the resolution honoring our teachers.
I'm going to let Miss Weaver read the next one.
All right. We have our school nurses. I see Mercy online. All right, let's read this one into the record. We have different days too, just so everyone knows. This one is different. School nurses is different. So yes. So resolution honoring school nurses, May 6, 2026. Whereas May 6, 2026 has been proclaimed as Newington School Nurses Day, and whereas Newington School Nurses help to foster a healthy, nurturing community in which our children can learn and grow, and whereas Newington School Nurses are the first and sometimes the only line of defense against the illnesses and conditions our students face, making their contribution to the education and welfare of the student population invaluable, and whereas Newington School Nurses, by the nature of their profession, are called upon to take on roles beyond that of a health provider, acting as teacher, confidant, mentor, and friend to the students of Newington. And whereas Newington School Nurses are dedicated to the success and wellness of Newington's future generations, therefore, we do hereby proclaim May 6, 2026 as Newington School Nurses Day. Be it resolved that we urge all the citizens of our community to join with us in actively expressing gratitude to all Newington School Nurses, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Newington Board of Education is directed to spread this resolution upon the minutes of this meeting and provide a suitable copy for presentation. Yay! What you got?
Mercy.
Hi, everybody. I'm excited to actually see 3 other nurses on virtually as well, Karen, Dana, and Kristen. So thank you for joining. And with them and on behalf of all of our other nurses, I would first of all sincerely like to thank you, Dr. Brummett, and the members of the Board of Ed for this resolution honoring our school nurses. We're really deeply grateful for your recognition of the work that the school nurses do each day to support the health, the safety, and the well-being of our Newington school, students. As most of you have heard me speak before, school nursing is much more complex, and it seems to be more complex every year and critical than before, because our students come with a wide range of needs, medical, mental health, social, emotional. And for many of these students, the school nurse is the first place they turn when they are struggling. Our school nurses, they manage many chronic conditions, respond to medical emergencies. We actually put in a medical emergency response team. We call it MERT, that's been very successful. They support students in crisis, promote wellness. They serve as basically a trusted connection between families, healthcare providers, and everybody in our school community. School nurses are also very essential to the educational team. Basically their presence ensures that every child has the opportunity to learn in a safe and healthy environment. With that said, healthy students are better learners, and that's super important. And lastly, I will hurry up. It's not just about what we do, but it's also the importance of continuing to invest in school health services. We have our school-based health center, which has been super successful, so that we can meet the growing and changing needs of our students today.
Thank you so much. And our third resolution for the evening is a resolution honoring Newington instructional support staff. Whereas Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 has been proclaimed as Newington Instructional Support Staff Appreciation Day. And whereas the Newington Public School System is committed to honoring its instructional support staff and recognizing their contributions to the educational system. And whereas the Newington Public School instructional support staff are well qualified, very dedicated, and maintain a close working relationship with students, school staff, and parents. And whereas the Newington Public School instructional support staff provide assistance, direction, and guidance to students under the direction of special education and regular education teachers. And whereas the Newington Public School instructional support staff reinforce skills, assist students in completing work, using technology, organizing, and assisting with physical needs and personal care. And whereas the Newington Public School instructional support staff contribute to the success of the entire school system and are always willing to go above and beyond their duties. Therefore, we do hereby proclaim Tuesday, May 5th, 2026 as Newington Instructional Support Staff Day. Be it resolved that we urge all the citizens of our community to join with us in actively expressing gratitude to Newington Instructional Support staff who represent an investment in excellence in our community. Be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Newington Board of Education is directed to spread this resolution upon the minutes of this meeting and to provide a suitable copy for presentation.
Melissa and Alex.
Ms. Talisha Foy. Hello, and Alex.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, everyone, for the recognition and acknowledgement of the hard work and dedication of our para-educators and tutors in our district. We know that they work very hard. They're a vital role. They play a vital role in our schools and the success of our teachers, our staff, and all around. So we can't thank them enough for all the hard work that they do. And I have with me Alex Hesland, who's one of our assistant directors of special education, to just give a little extra thank you in regards to our para-educators.
Yes, they are the backbone of everything that we do in our schools. Without their professionalism, their guidance, and their care for all of the students that are in our classrooms, we wouldn't be where we are. They really have everyone's best interest at heart, and the amount of professionalism that they show and care for the children that they work with is so extraordinary. And every year, I am amazed by how well they are able to put up with the new, the new challenges that are put in front of them, and the perseverance that they have to come to work every day, still smile, and still enjoy and love everything that they're doing. So thank you, everybody, for what you're doing.
Our paparazzi. Okay, at this point, I will open it up to board comments on any of our presentations of awards. Ms. Beatrice?
I just want to congratulate and really be clear about the amount of appreciation and respect that we have for our teachers, our paras, our security people, and our school nurses. You know, I'm struck by hearing all of the kind words that were spoken today and talking about our school community as very much that. It's a community with lots and lots of different types of people, lots and lots of different types of needs and challenges. And each one of you are meeting those challenges and exceeding those challenges in a way that are so special and that always have the education, the safety, the security, and the love for all of our students. So thank you so much for all that you do. It is definitely recognized and appreciated.
Ms. Weaver?
This is a whole list of Love Fest tonight. I love my Love Fest, but wow, we got all of the top folks here tonight. Mike, want to say thank you so much for all that you've done for our district. I remember you came on and the work we've done, particularly on board side of making sure when we have schools construction projects, talking about security was top of mind for Wallace, for Anna Reynolds, for all of the things when we have the man traps in all of our schools. You know, I think having those conversations, you have been a great leader, not only for, I know, us as board members who are looking for, like, what does Mike think about this? Or on policy, what does Mike think about this? Thank you. And I think it's just one of those things that's, you're a pillar in our school community. So thank you for what you do every single day. Thank you to our teachers, Holly. You know how I feel about Newington teachers. They are a very large reason of why I am here today. And some of them, many of them still teaching there. Some of them at this table. Thank you, Mr. Diaz. And I think Newington just has an exceptional quality. I talk to other board members, my friends, my families that are teachers, my friends that are teachers, and I just know Newington teachers are special. So I know when I say thank you, please know it comes from the 13 years I did here as a student, but also the years I've done here as a board member, to see the growth, the challenges, the immense responsibility that it is to be a teacher. And the appreciation is never enough. So thank you. For our nurses, the same goes. The care that has been given to me, my sister, especially when you have a nut allergy before it was like a thing. And there was like tofuti, like ice cream and all these random things. We were like, we don't know what to do with this. Mercy, thank you to you and your team and to those online tonight. I know those challenges are ever changing, particularly I think since post-COVID world, we've seen just the amount of changes. And to your point, you know, we were just talking about MERT teams last night or the other night in policy, and also our school-based health center as being a great need and a great value to our community. So thank you for continuing to take on more responsibility and be the front line truly. And lastly, to our paraeducators, truly has been a topic, I think, for a lot of this because we do appreciate our paraeducators. It has been a really important conversation because more and more we are looking at shortages and the intensity of that job. It knows no bounds. So I cannot express my gratitude enough on behalf of the board for our paraeducators and our tutors that are there helping our teachers who I know are appreciative of them too. And the camaraderie between the staff to staff and the staff to parents, to be honest, has been wonderful to see that connection with paras and seeing what the true changes that can happen, especially as those who are one-on-one bringing children along in multiple grades and having that connection. They're some of the most heartwarming stories I've seen in education thus far. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for all that you do every single day. The Love Fest is not enough. The resolutions are not enough, but we appreciate you every day.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma?
Hey, I just want to congratulate all the honorees, especially the nurses, the teachers, and then of course the support staff. And being a teacher myself, it's a lot of hard work. It's not a 73 job. I wake up at 4:30. By the time I'm done, it's about 9 p.m. And sometimes I remember I spend about like 3 hours just making one lesson. So I mean, I know how it is and how much hard work our teachers put in for our students. So congratulations again. And we really appreciate what you all do for all the kids. Thank you.
Dr. Stanley?
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, especially the teachers. You are some of our most trusted folks and a part of our community and really a part of our family throughout the year. And so I just wanted to say that we really appreciate you and you definitely deserve this resolution. Big shout out to the nurses, of course. The day-to-day job of nurses is so broad, from Band-Aids to ice packs to EpiPens to reviewing health records and making sure that the students are safe and also faced with psychiatric challenges and managing that and supporting families. So big shout out and thank you to all of our nurses. And then the paraeducators, wow. We're trying. I know we love you guys. We really do. And we hear it. And we know how important you are to the Newington Public Schools. And we are fighting and rooting for you just as much as you are fighting for our kids and you know, dealing with those day-to-day challenges that are just the most difficult sometimes in our schools. And then big shout out to Michael. Thank you so much for all of your leadership and dedication and with all of the speeches, just showing how much you're appreciated is really kind and nice to hear. So thank you so much.
Any other? Mr. Morgan, I remember one of my first board meetings, you came and presented about our security, and then there happened to be a tragic event. And just hearing the care and dedication that you put into making sure that all of our buildings are safe and all of our students are safe day in and day out on, you know, when they walk into the building and leave, and then 24/7 around that. Just the upgrades, the constant thinking, the constant improvements that you're making, we really appreciate and can't do it without you. And anything you need, let us know to keep our kids safe, because as Ms. Tigna said, safety is number one, and we all are on the same page with that. So thank you and well-deserved honor. To our teachers, we love our teachers. Obviously, you're in the classroom every day with our students. So definitely the ones that are there day in, day out, supporting us, supporting our students. Thank you so much. School nurses is obviously can't learn if you're sick, can't come to school if you're sick, or the partnership with the school-based health center that we've done, I think is a really great thing, because then the students are able to get what they need in school, get a prescription, come back the next day ready to learn. And maybe students that otherwise would not have the opportunity to see a nurse for an illness like of that nature. And keeping them in school, obviously, with vaccines and the nature. So Mercy, thank you for partnering with the school-based health center on that. And then, of course, all of our challenging needs and the students that are coming in with allergies and medical necessities that, again, keeping them in school, helping them able to learn. And then to our paras and tutors, obviously, we've heard a lot of stories over the past several weeks of our paras and the importance that they play, not only for the individual student or students that they're with every day, but the teachers that they're supporting and the school. Just being in the building and being that presence, that steady presence, and listen to town council meeting last night, and some of the paras that talked, or some of the special education teachers that talked, it was really, really touching, and definitely, it definitely paints a picture of who these people are in supporting our students. So we can't, are some of our most needy students, and the ones that can't learn without you, you're just a blessing to everyone. So we definitely appreciate all of our honorees tonight. So thank you. And thank you to everyone who is here and share the love with everybody else. All right, I will now open up the floor to public participation on any matter related to board responsibilities. If you're in the room, you can come to the head of the table. You have 4 minutes to speak. If you're online, you can raise your hand to be recognized. I am not seeing any hands. Nope. Okay. Quick consent agenda, and then we have a presentation.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented for the regular meeting March 11th, 2026, and for the regular meeting April 8th, 2026.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right, Dr. Bremmett, can introduce our presentation.
Yes, I'm sure you've noticed the high level of cuteness here in the audience tonight. And these are our stellar students from Elizabeth Green. I'm going to turn the mic over to Kevin Duran so he can explain to you what he means by 6 bricks and how that plays out in the school setting to help our students learn skills through play. So I'm going to boot that up, Mr. Duran, and you're ready to go.
All right, thank you very much. I do have to say, last year when I presented, it took an hour and a half to get up to the table, so I'm quite happy today. Yes, what we're going to be presenting today is we're going to be presenting 6 bricks by Lego, which we use in the classrooms. We use it for executive functioning. And Ms. DeWill's with me today, and she's going to be going more into depth on it. But first, I wanted to just thank the eGreen community, because as you can see, I have 7 awesome 3rd graders who are going to be here today to help present 6 bricks to you. And their families are all here with them, and it's really a tribute to the community we've built at eGreen, how everybody's so supportive and they want to come in and help in any way. So when I asked them about this, they jumped at the opportunity. But with 6 bricks, it's a great program where kids are more hands-on. They're talking, they're solving problems, they're working for solutions. They take on roles as they're going through the problems, and you're going to see an activity today which you'll be involved in of a Six Bricks activity where you're going to see how these kids are going to take the lead in the activity and what you can actually learn from it. But I'm going to turn it over to Ms. DeWill, who's going to give you a little more input. And then I'm going to have, after she talks, have my third graders come up and introduce themselves to you.
Dr. Brummett, are you controlling? Perfect. So Six Bricks are, many of us probably have played with Legos in our lifetime. All they are is 6 Duplo Legos, and there are so many things that you can do with these. These are the specialized colors. They come like this. And when kids do them, they don't take a long time. It doesn't take a lot out of our day. It could be during morning meetings. It could be during brain breaks, transitioning from one activity to another, just to kind of get the kids up, moving, thinking, and doing. Why we're doing this is it's about executive functioning. So that's been a buzzword in education for the last, I don't know how many years, right? Would you agree? So if you could go to the next slide, Dr. Brummett. There's a lot of research about executive functioning out there, and just to share, it indicates that strong executive function is a better predictor of academic readiness than IQ or entry-level reading and math scores. So if you think about that, these little bits of time that we take to do these with kids when they're having fun really pay off because they help students. If you could go on to the next slide. So a little bit about some of those core ones, and they're kind of long, but I'm not going to read to you. I want you to just kind of take a peek at them. It's really about inhibitory control, working memory, and cognitive flexibility. Those are the big 3 of executive function. And if you read through some of those up there right now, something that stands out to me is as you work around this table at the board, are there any of those that you need to keep in mind and that you have to have as skills? Like quite a few, right? So those are things that are just good life skills to have. So those are things that we want to instill in our kids. And we could do that in a lot of different ways. Six Bricks is just one way to do it, but it's a fun way. And you're going to get a chance to see that now. So before we move on, we'll invite our kids up so you can meet them.
Don't be shy. You're not shy at school. Come on up. All right, and remember, talk into the mic like we talked about. Olivia, you start us. Introduce yourself. Yes.
We're going to go.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Olivia Zagarbinavides. Hi, my name is Jordan. Oliver LeBron. Hi, my name is Penelope. Hi, my name is Amelia. Hi, my name is Cami. Hi, my name is Juliet.
All right.
So we have our third graders here, and instead of hearing and learning from us, what better people to learn from than these 7 here? So I'm going to give them some bricks, and we'll explain our activity real quickly. All right, so our challenge is called back to back. You're going to pair up with a third grader, and we might not have enough, so you might have to pair up with an adult, which won't be as fun, but you can pair up with each other. And what you're going to do is you're going to stand back to back. Olivia, can you stand back to back with me? One of us will be the architect, and that architect is that designer. We're going to design something with our bricks. And the other one will be the builder. The builder is going to build, okay? So what we'll do is the architect will make their design, and then they're going to explain to the builder, without the builder seeing, how to replicate that design, okay? So your partner, your third grade partners are going to let you choose what you'd like to be, and we'll see how we do. So then once you're done, you'll get a chance to turn around and see if you did a great job. What do you think? You ready?
Yeah.
All right. They will find, our third graders will find a partner. If you don't have a partner, we can find one. Yep, go ahead. Pick one of our board members who would love to join. Okay, you got this? Mr. Byrne, you gonna do it with us? Oh, okay, I got it. All right. Dr. Brummett, are you in? Ladies, are you in?
Okay, so your, I gotta take this, right? Okay, so I shouldn't start with them apart?
So take the orange and put it on the back. And then take the dark and put it under the orange. The red on the side, on the side, orange like on the
Side of what? Okay.
And then take the light blue on the orange, but on the side. And just take the on the light blue,
With the green one? Done? Stop it. Look at that.
Let's get a picture of you two together with it all made perfectly.
Do we get a prize for doing it first and the best? And being-
Actually,
And
no.
being the cutest ones and you're the best problem
Well,
solvers?
Mrs. Weaver did it.
And she was best, no, Miss Weaver wins no prizes.
All right, let's get you two together. We'll get in there.
No. Wait.
Let's get it together
We
first.
don't photograph the fails.
All right, here we go.
Ready?
All right. Good work.
I was sweating. I was getting nervous. I'm like, wait a minute. How many are we gonna do? How much time?
Just one. We'll be done in like 2 minutes. If that. Then we'll just
How
get a
is
few
Mr.
questions.
Joanne doing as a principal? We'd like to know. What's your feedback?
I think she's really good.
Yeah.
And he's a really
He's a really nice person. That's good. That's good. He comes to work every day, like he's on time and everything. All right. Is he friendly to the same folks?
Come visit your class, huh?
Dustin, who's your teacher? Yes. Oh, you on the swap, very nice. Lucky dog. And you said third grade? I remember the most about the third grade, was learning the time space. And my third grade teacher was named Mrs. Feller. We don't do this anymore, but I'm really old, so this is way back in the day. And so she would walk in the class, she would walk in the class and she would say, Justin, go up. And we have to stand up there, chair, and she would have to start. She goes, ready, go. Sometimes seven, sometimes two, 9 times 4. And she would say that, and you didn't use the first one to get that on, she would say, sit back down and you're gonna try tomorrow. And no. She was not very, nobody, first place.
Wow, wow, not competitive.
She won't allow Weaver to win. Weaver was there first.
It's no prizes. It's because I had such a great
Almost
mark.
about done.
You're gonna give me directions. So it must be different that when you start the activity, like all of your friends. They all look the same, like they're all in the same board.
Are there different activities that you do with them? Yeah. So third graders, if you could wrap up. Third graders, start to wrap up and come on back with us.
You want to collect the Legos?
There you go.
See them all going on. Yeah, we have parents working for Lego last year.
Well.
Started doing. So third grade is doing it, but now we have other grades. Brenda did her presentation, we tell other grades that want to get involved. You know, it doesn't take. Yes, but
Everything else.
Kids, yeah, about 70 other kids. Get some things.
All right. Yeah, thank you.
Which one am I gonna use?
Well, you can use the center one. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Okay, which one am I using?
Just, yeah, if you just center one, just give it a second.
Let me see.
These are great for adults.
This is kind of just a question.
So we're gonna keep on this slide just for now.
Okay. And then you're gonna change it after.
Yeah. So just like when we do this work, we always like to find out what the kids have learned from this. So Juliet has a question for you.
Think about the activity that we just tried. What were some skills that were necessary to be successful with this activity?
Just chime in. What were some skills you needed?
Well, Julia was my partner and I think we crushed it. I had to listen very well. And then I had to visualize in my mind what Juliet was saying. So I had to make sure that I was listening, but also then focusing and being able to visualize. And then I also had to use my hands to be able to do this. So a little kinesthetic, a little visualization, and auditory listening.
So far, let's see what others had to say.
I would say that being well, I'm not an architect, but I went to school for architecture for many years. So I would say a good mindset, a good idea building in your mind from plan to paper to actual building. That's the key to success right there for building a good building, good architecture. Thanks.
How about third graders? Any idea, any things that you know that we've talked about before that you've noticed? Go ahead, jump in and.
If you're gonna go up to the microphone, make sure they're there. Yeah, that's something. That's okay. Go first.
So, can you just say that you also had
So I can move the microphone so they can hear.
What's one that you thought about?
I also thought that we have to focus on doing this, so then you can pay attention and like your mind, so you don't get confused and stuff.
You want to add something to it?
You need to listen, like like you have to really listen to what they're saying to make it with the 6 bricks. I'll go after. You have to like use your vocabulary words. Yeah. Right. You had to listen really carefully and make sure you didn't get anything wrong. You have to be very specific about things.
Don't worry. It's okay. All right.
So we have just come up with some, do you want to read them to them? Ones that we have just come up with as we went along.
We came up with some and we kind of like have a slide of some that we came up with.
Ah.
You guys want to read them?
Well, some skills that we used was active listening, and we used memory and focus and vocabulary, following directions and directional concepts, clarity of language, visualizing and spatial awareness, perseverance.
And I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to share something that we've started this year. Third grade is fully involved in this right now at E Green, and then we know that probably starting in May, we're going to have some other grades jumping into this also. So it's a great activity. Come stop by anytime you want at 30 Thomas Street and you can get involved.
I just have a quick question. What are some of the other, like, just brief activities that you've done with the bricks?
You guys want to share?
Some activities that we did with the 6 bricks is making a tower with all of them with a partner, or maybe with 3 groups.
Cool.
What was the purpose for that one? Do you remember?
Really focus and try to build it like the tallest tower with your partner using teamwork. Yeah, right.
Teamwork, nice.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. And thank you to our families for coming and supporting. It's really great to see everybody.
Did a great job.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Group photo time. Thank you, spring friends. Well done. Very impressed.
Thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
We love interactive presentations. Jackets and phones, don't forget.
That's my jacket.
Trying to give away her jacket?
Hopefully they'll take your jacket.
I know.
I know, mine cracked when I went down.
The 20 years since he grew is hitting hard.
20 years, oh my gosh. Hasn't been that long.
Since he grew.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Okay. And now we have to move on to a not so fun topic. All right, so we have first item on new business is an update on this next year's budget. I will let Dr. Brumett start, and then And then, yeah.
So I just first and foremost want to thank board members that came out in support of the budget at the town council meeting. Many of you stayed to the wee hours of the morning last night, and as has been stated by folks tonight and certainly last night, we saw tremendous support for para benefits and some amazing stories, including from students. So that I just wanted to once again thank folks. I did send out a note this morning acknowledging the strong support that we had last night at the town council table. But I did, in the course of the last few weeks of the budget process, you know, I did hear some facts that didn't quite align with the reality of some of the things happening in districts. So I wanted to clarify that and announce publicly for the record that if anyone isn't sure of a fact, they can always call me and I can provide information, spreadsheets, anything that you need, because I did hear some, you know, inaccuracies last evening at the town council meeting. There was a statement made that we have 41 administrators at town hall that make over $100,000. That is absolutely inaccurate. We have 13 district-wide administrators at town hall who serve all the schools. So while we're housed at the town hall, we go to schools all the time, and members of our special ed team have to also go to magnet and private schools to manage the student programs there. While it is true that folks typically make over $100,000, virtually everyone has more than 20 years of experience, master's degrees, several master's degrees, some doctorate degrees. So they would be making that even if they were still teaching. The remaining staff on top floor of town hall are administrative assistants. And I don't think we all total 41, all of us, but certainly not administratively. So I just wanted to clear the air about that. There was also chatter last evening that our capital money that we have left from this year isn't expended yet, and therefore why can't we simply use it for next year? And I wanted to clear that up, that while there is still a balance in our board CIP account, we always buy technology at the end of the year so that it's a current model. And I can assure folks listening tonight, as well as the board, that our technology department is getting ready to write purchase orders in excess of $800,000, all planned for in the budget. With a little help from the DRIP money that's coming in from the state and some utilization as was planned for in the budget of the Chromebook insurance fund. But all that together is going to drain the resources of that fund. So there was not resources going to be left over for some of the capital projects that were cut last evening. So as I understand it, we'll have just the typical 125,000 mandated allotment from the town for capital, which means at this point, Chafee parking lot probably cannot happen. The Patterson roof will have to see. Paras, there was a statement made last night that paras don't get raises and are somehow missing out on that. No, they've gotten raises between 3% and 4% every year. Unfortunately, it's a raise on a small amount, so it isn't, they do not make a lot of money. But the real issue for us is our competitiveness due to our lack of para benefits. That will always be the case, why we are not competitive with any of our neighboring districts, because we are really the only district that does not offer them. There was commentary that the board should be able to find a way to pay for the benefits even with our $1.8 million cut last evening. That also is not true. If for some reason the ECS money does come through, there is quite a bit of activity at the state. Lynn Bovair went to the state for the press conference a couple days ago, and things are, it is quite possible that the town could receive additional ECS money next year. And if they do, they could certainly reallocate it to us, but be advised they get that money. So if that money is to benefit the board, even though the governor's been very public, that's educational money, we can't control anything that the town receives. So that would certainly be super helpful if they get another $1 million and route it back to us. But that's still a couple of steps away from affording the benefits. So again, that, as I mentioned in my email to staff today, para benefits are, definitely in peril unless some money comes through. There was also a statement that the board budget has gone up 10% in recent years. Based on my math and my analysis of our increases, our average 9-year increase is 3.02%. So I just wanted to put that out there. Basically, if we had to stabilize our budget today, which the board does not have to, that's not an agenda item tonight. But right now, if nothing were to change at the state with any state funding or any grant money, we would have to eliminate the proposal for para tutor insurance. We have to add back in the time work bonus because we took that away thinking that para tutor benefits would go through. That's $105,000. I can actually show you this. This is draft, not firm. And in order to balance the cut, we would have to reduce the Nor'easter Academy out of the budget and the student school-based health center out of the budget. And then we'd still have to come up with $45,000 more. Again, this is worst case scenario. This is assuming no grant money comes in, that the ECS money doesn't make its way back to us. So these are things, and we also are going to talk momentarily about the health benefit credit. So that is something that could also assist. But I just wanted the board to see current reality. Hopefully, we will get some good news. And we're also waiting to hear about additional money that we can use to offset our effective school solutions bill. There is strong indications that we will be getting some money in that regard, potentially $300,000 this year and $200,000 the subsequent year. I'm sorry, by this year, I mean next year's budget cycle. However, we're still I can't tell you how many phone calls I've made to even people at the state level don't know how that money is going to be distributed. They don't know whether it's going to go to the town, the board, to ESS directly, or who knows where. So until we know where that money is going, we can't count on that yet. So that's my update. I'll turn it back to board chair for any further remarks.
Yeah, thank you for clearing up some of those. There is another one that I had heard too, was that and I know we've talked about it at this table, but we have 25 para educator vacancies. That doesn't mean that we have 25 less people in the schools providing the support that our students need. We're filling it on a day-to-day basis, filling those roles by substitute teachers or other staff or contracting out at a higher rate. So it's not that we have vacancies and we're not using those bodies. It's we have vacancies and we're paying more to fill those necessary required roles. And Ms. Foy is in the room and spending her time day in and day out, hiring, interviewing, reaching out, finding paras. Is really, the para educator benefits is really significantly impacting our ability to fill those positions. And we heard last night, we've heard just several anecdotal stories that we're losing really good people based on the fact that we're not providing benefits. I also heard a comment that the town council doesn't decide line item Board of Ed budget numbers, which is true. They do not control how we spend the money. However, in all of our presentations, in all of the communication, in everything, it's been unknown. This is the cost for paraeducator benefits. This is what we need. Choosing to cut the $1.8 million despite the fact that I heard several council members last night saying they support paraeducator benefits. Having this larger of a cut, which is more above and beyond what our I think it was like 1.395 total. It was 1.6, but then we had the time work, and I think there was another $100,000 maybe other salary, like contracted services, I think was the other one that we added.
We're going to reduce our reliance on permanent building subs.
Permanent building,
Yeah.
okay. So
Yep.
permanent building subs. So it was essentially $1.4 million that we needed. So despite the fact that I heard several council members say we support paraeducator benefits, they clearly knew that that was like the number that we needed, and it got cut even more. So I I think that, as Dr. Marmot said, there's still missing pieces. The state budget still is not finalized. They have until May 6th when their session ends. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to make it work if extra money is coming to the town for the purposes of education. But I have not gotten any feedback on that from a couple of people that I asked so far, but like still to be determined. It wasn't, we don't have to finalize now. We have until the 1st of July, which obviously we'll do it sooner because we need to do it sooner rather than later. But we do have additional meetings and things again still are up in the air until the state finalizes their budget to know exactly what's coming to us. But it was a little disappointing that this large of a cut came last night. So that's all I'll say for now. Yeah, I'll open up to any other comments or discussion. Ms. Weaver.
Yeah, just want to reiterate gratitude for those who came out. I was like online for a second, then I was like, oh my gosh. And then I had another meeting, and then I did not last to the 1 a.m. mark. So thank you for those who lasted that long. Blessed. So yeah, I want to echo sentiments of frankly disappointment. I think this has been, paraeducators has been on the docket for frankly like the last year. We were talking about it last budget season, then we were like, we're going to do it this budget season. Recognizing it is a reval year, and that is, I'm not envious of those sitting at the council table, but I think it is one of those things that I think we as a board agreed on, and want to appreciate again that consensus there. I think the other thing that is of concern to me is not just this budget, but I say this quite often, like sustainable budgeting. I am concerned about what this means for next year's budget. I do not think it's going to be any easier, despite not the initial hit, but tsunamis have waves. So I am concerned particularly not only for the para-educator benefit line, but also the lack of buses and the lack of CIP. I know did extensive presentations about this. Thank you to Lynn and to the dean and to everyone who put in so much effort on those presentations about just kind of what we're facing in terms of those bubbles on the bus lines. I am very concerned this is a kind of kicking can down the road situation where we will not have the ability, and we are going to hit a certain point where we will not be able to have enough buses and rotation and be in a situation, especially given that it takes a year to buy a bus at minimum, and that we'll be paying more because costs aren't going down ever on buses. So definitely just concerned, not only for making this work. Obviously, I know there's been a lot of advocacy. Thank you to those who've been advocating at the state. I know it's been in the headlines a lot, and I know we'll have clarity probably by May 6th, hopefully, as end of session comes into the foray. But I think, yeah, and I'm hopeful. You know, I know we have a lot of conversations, and I talk about this at length, that we don't have as much state support as we need, and particularly as the rising costs, particularly when it comes to special ed, but just in general, not seeing that, in ECS not adjusting for inflation ever. All this rant to say, I'm just concerned not only for this year, and a bit disappointed on what it is. I recognize, you know, it is a hard year with revaluations, but I don't think the hurt will be any less next year. And what that means for us, obviously asking for this year, I think the need and the ask will still be there next year. So just want to kind of have a zoom out in perspective for not just this budget, but next year, and also the budgets years after that. So not just, you know, in this term and under this board. I just hope folks can kind of have that zoom out too, because, you know, next April will be here before we know it too. And I don't think the need's going to go down. I don't think the costs are going to go down. But certainly, the need will be there. And so if it's not in our operating budget now, I am concerned about what it looks like for that next operating budget, as well as our capital improvement budget, particularly when it comes to the buses. So I do want to reiterate, though, I appreciate everyone's time and effort, both on board and council side, for this effort. We all are volunteers, and I know the 1 a.m., the late nights of everything, both here at board and then at council, I know that is, again, not invasive of that. So thank you for everyone for what they've done. And also know that there's a lot of work ahead until July 1. And I think anything we can do to be able to do this, I'll reiterate my support for paraeducator benefits, obviously, but can only support if we can put the money towards it. So that is something that is top of mind, I think, for all of us, not recognizing the irony that we just honored them with a resolution. I think they would like money more. So that's just my guess. But yeah, I think, and just curious, my actual question to this is are we anticipating with, I know the governor's made comments and all these things, would the anticipation be, and then maybe that's for Dr. Brummett, that we would hear about that by end of session, or it might be an Easter later? And any indications, I know those lengthy conversations about the ESS, what that looks like in terms of timeline. Again, I'm assuming no timeline was given on when they would decide that. But maybe by end
So
of
for
this year.
ECS, for sure, that will be part of this budget session unless they do a U-turn. I've also been told by what seems to be a reliable source, legislators, that that Newington is slated to receive in some way, shape, form, or fashion, $300,000 this year and $200,000 in a subsequent year toward toward acute mental health expenditures. But really, ECS was kind of the ESS was. We got too many acronyms tonight. They were well behind that. They visited here. They did kind of a communication rally across the district and across the state. So I just don't know where that money's going to go. And I can assure you, I literally spoke with the Northwest Regional Director of Northeast rather of ESS, and he said, Maureen, I do not know where this money is going to come, go, or what have you. And he's pretty well connected. So we're keeping in close contact, but no clear indication there. The Nor'easter Academy grant that I wrote with our grant folks is due to be announced in June. So that is another possible. We do have some continuous feelers out for school-based health center grant money, but we're coming up kind of empty-handed there. So those are what we know about right now.
Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate it. Ms. Beatrice?
A couple of comments that I heard actually last night at the town council meeting also referenced discussion about needs versus wants. And when I'm looking at the spreadsheet that we see here, it seems like the items that may be on the chopping block are actually items that impact our most at-risk kids. And so I really feel strongly that that is not a want, that's a need, and I think it's our responsibility and it's our moral responsibility as well. The Nor'easter Academy and especially our paras reach our most at-risk students. These are kids that are not going to be successful in school if we don't provide these valuable services. And so I just really feel strongly that decisions that are made, things that are talked about, and the thought that goes into each of these items is done with the absolute needs of our students at the forefront. These are critical services. These are not wants. These are definitely important services that we really, really need, and in some cases are legally obligated to perform. And so I'd like to get the message out that decisions aren't made lightly. These are not pet projects. These are things that really help our students in the most impactful way. And we really need to do what we can to make sure that we are providing those services so that our students at the least don't fall behind, but at the most, we don't have students that don't graduate. And so, I just want to clarify that the needs versus the wants are really about the needs.
Thank you. Mr. Skibo?
Yes, is there a way to get a printout from last night, all the true facts that were mentioned? Is that possible?
Yes, I can send that to the board tomorrow. Right now, it's just in my working notes, but I can pretty it up.
So I can have the real facts.
I'm happy to do that, and I'm always happy to do that at any time, should a board member be questioned or want more information. I mean, public reaches out as well, so I'm always happy to do that.
Thank you.
Ms. Lindsay, and then
Basically, just want to agree with Mary that cutting Nor'easter and para benefits, we have to try not to do that. The Nor'easter Academy is amazing, and I know many people that are thriving because of Northeast Academy. And para benefits, we don't want to lose no more good paras. We really don't. Because like, as I said before, we have lost good ones because they don't have the benefits. So I agree that we need to do our best to keep those two things in here and not cut them.
Dr. Stanley.
Thank you, Amy. I also had heard something that I just want to clarify. Is there any avenue, for instance, if we don't get these grants, that we can apply for funding from the town council? I know they have a grant matching program, but is that an avenue if we don't accept a grant? That was like a,
Acting finance director, I guess is what she is now, had mentioned something about that last night. I think it definitely has to come through the council and they would have to, for sure, like, you vote to move it through. Yeah, in offline conversations too, there's been like the town council is able to do special appropriations to any account in the town finance, which includes the board operating budget. If they did that, that would be an avenue to increase our funding without affecting the mill rate that which they officially set last night. So I think there are other avenues. It's not our decision, though. I think it's so if we advocate to them to
we
do that, then
we've
yeah, that's-
received the Northeastern grant for how many years now? We've been successful on it?
This is our this is the year that we just got it. So it's finishing up this year.
Okay.
And then we applied for the same grant for next year.
Right. So this is our first year that we've had
It
the
is.
grant. Okay.
Mhm.
And then the student health clinic, we've had that grant how often or?
That was
Never?
over a 2-year span because it got to a slow start. The Department of Public Health was slow to get it approved. So that's spanned 2 school years, but it will be expended by the end of this year.
Okay. So hopeful that we are successful because I'm sure you're amazing and the programs are amazing. But just a little reassurance that I think that our members and town council also believe that these are important programs. And if we strongly feel like we want to continue, we have other ways to advocate to them for special appropriations. I'm hopeful. And then also just want to reiterate, paraprofessionals are so important, and any way that we can carve out some money from maybe IT or be creative on like how often we're replacing some of these electronics, anywhere that we can get a little bit from athletics, don't come for me. But coming up with 1.6 million is a lot to ask for. But I know we're going to be looking really hard at our contract negotiations and what our contractual obligations are because they're growing and growing more. And something's going to have to give if we're going to be able to afford para benefits like they deserve.
Mr. Newton.
Jumping on what Jessica said, this is my 3rd budget, and I already see the town council power play that went on last night with that 1.6 million. My concern is, and if I'm wrong, Doc, let me know. We've been averaging a $4 or $5 million increase every year. Well, they've already eaten in 1.5. If we get the para benefits through, and I'm fully in support of that, that now means next year, if we were normally asking for 5, 1.5 of that's already gone because that extends our budget. So I feel like we're being pigeonholed. And, I don't know what the ultimate plan is, but I think the town council has an ultimate plan. I think that we just need to understand that when we do whatever we do, it has a ripple effect into next year's budget. So we have to be smart.
Yeah, and just kind of going off of that too, there was a lot of comments of, oh, you have the non-lapsing fund. You can use the non-lapsing fund, but back to the sustainable budgeting, that's not sustainable. We already know from our budget work sessions that our finance director has cut the budget a lot based on actual expenditures versus what was budgeted. So we didn't just budget what was previously budgeted. We looked at actuals and lowered from there. So we already did the work to kind of tighten up our budget as a board. I think that maybe didn't kind of come across in our original presentation. But also, you know, we may not have money to put into non-lapsing fund year after year. Last year, we did have an overage and we even sent money back to the town, but this year we aren't looking that way. And next year, pretty guaranteed we won't, just because of the cuts that we had already made. So I think that we can't, you know, maybe this year we could fund 1.6 million out of our non-lapsing for para benefits, but then what do we do next year? Because we're digging ourselves into a hole and we can't give benefits and then take them away. Like, I think that's even crappier than not giving them at all, which I think is even more crappier. But we actually, like, it would be irresponsible. And I know that this was said about the general fund last night. It's irresponsible to keep dipping into the general fund. I think what maybe wasn't mentioned last night is that money does go into the general fund based on estimates are, you know, like, for example, with ECS, the estimate in the budget right now is flat funded from last year. We're under the impression that we're getting more money. So if that comes in, that's $1 million or whatever it is that they didn't expect. If nothing happens with that money, that's going to the general fund. So there is money, I don't have the exact figures, but money has been put into the general fund year over year over year, based on the conservative budgeting and windfalls and sales of properties and all these things. So the fact that, you know, there was a big discussion about we can't keep taking money out of the general fund. In that case, it does fluctuate and they have a statutory obligation to keep a certain amount in there, but they're at that even more than the statutory obligation. But that was an argument. So to then turn it around and be like, oh, you've got this pot of money that you need to use, again, it's not sustainable. We can't then dip into the same money fund next year because it won't be there. So, and then on just another, and I've said this before too, is the non-lapsing fund is it's set up, it is not supposed to be an offset to the budget. It's not supposed to be something that we are able to balance our budget with. It's supposed to be for emergencies. A bus breaks down, we didn't get capital, we need to buy a bus, or 2 students that have significant expenditures move into district and we budgeted for 5 and we've already got 7. So we need to have a cushion so that we have the ability to pay for the education of the students. And at the end of the day, it's about the students. It's about what they need to succeed. And this, like, nickel and diming the Board of Ed, like saying, oh, you can find the money, you'll find the money. It's really like, I think Miss Rooney last night said it, like, we're balancing a budget on the backs of children and it's the system. Like, if you take money away from education, you're weakening the system. You're not enhancing the education. So Miss Rooney, full credit to you. But I loved how she said that last night and seriously listened to her speech at the council meeting. So that's my spiel. I don't know if anyone else has any other comments on the budget. I think there's more to come, hopefully like $1 million more to come, but that's what I know for now. Ms. Weaver.
Sorry, just to clarify again, I know you had said this, but reiterating, we have until like July 1st to do this. Obviously, want to get it done before.
Probably within the next 2 meetings, we should have it. wrapped
Maybe if
up.
the Northeastern grant comes in June. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I keep
Yeah.
checking, but there's nothing. I mean, I think the board needs to balance the budget certainly
Certainly.
by early June to be.
Just to give public
Judicious.
expectations on timeline, I think is helpful. And then also noting that session ends on May 6th, so it should be helpful to know and clarify where the ECS money will be very helpful. When's our next May meeting? Right around the same time? I think it's this, yep.
Oh, it might be that day,
Yeah, I think it's
actually.
that day. Yeah, so just wanted to say, like, from an expectation timeline perspective, we have time, but we won't be going up to July 1. We have our meeting dates set through June. Want to be clarifying on that. May 6th will be the end of session and our board meeting May have some late breaking news. Okay.
Well, they're probably gonna be up late, so we may not have an answer.
They do end at midnight. So yeah. Could be at the same time. Could be live action sports. Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Any other? Nope. Oh, this is a fun one. We have a we have our resolution honoring for our 2026 valedictorian and salutatorian.
Oh, gosh.
It's fine. Okay.
So we'll honor them officially at the honors breakfast. But here's just a official motion.
Okay. We don't have the print. I just want to make these right. I don't want to be on record saying the wrong
We did
name.
a
Okay.
little practice earlier, but I
Okay.
can't guarantee it's 100% perfect.
Murtaza Ather, Garrick Napoli. Where's the emphasis on?
Just do it. We'll correct them.
All right. All right. I apologize in advance, but we will get your names right a million times because we will also present these a million times at scholars, graduation. There's a million times you'll get these awards. So by the third time, we'll be good. All right. I will move the Board of Education proclaim Murtaza Ather as valedictorian for the Newington High School graduating class of 2026 and Garrick Napoli as salutatorian for the Newington High School graduating class of 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Congratulations to these two students. Definitely is a high honor to, I'm sure they have a lot going for them and I can't wait to meet them. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I can't wait to read the 700 AP classes that they're in, the a million different activities they're involved in, and also where they're going post-grad. I know a lot of decisions have been coming out.
May 1st.
And May 1st is the decision deadline, but congratulations to both. I know it's an incredible honor. Can't wait to even hear like the insane GPAs that come out as well. Just always great to see. So can't wait to honor them multiple times. But congratulations to Murtaza and Garrick.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Vote, please.
Barry Beach.
Yes.
John Halloran.
Yes.
Marissa Lenzi.
Yes.
Timothy Newton.
Yes.
Amy Parati.
Yes.
Brian Skibo.
Yes.
Sam Sharma.
Yes.
Dr. Gail Stanley.
Yes.
Jessica Weaver.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously 9-0.
Yay. All right, discussion and possible action on our health benefits reserve fund.
All righty. For our new board members, this is kind of an interesting concept that's fairly unique to Newington. But each year we are directed to budget for health benefits. Oh, there it goes again. It's on a roll too. So this comes directly from the agent of record. We don't have discretion in this. However, there is an MOU that's been on the books with the town that if the amount we budget turns out to be an over budget, then the board is awarded a credit. However, that credit is not awarded until after the fiscal year ends and all the budget dust settles on the fiscal year. And I think folks know we have a high deductible plan. So this is the time of year that people have satisfied their deductible, so they're going to the doctor a lot. So that often the amount that currently is shown as a credit, which is a good size $514,000 credit, is very likely to shrink before this is all said and done. There's been many years where that credit completely evaporates. There's been many years where that credit becomes negative. So then it's not really a credit. It's a deficit. But the good news about that is if we ever do get into a deficit, the town absorbs that all through the MOU that was done well before my time. It's unusual to have any type of credit of this magnitude anymore because the way our health care is financed, all of the credits that we used to get after the fact are now baked into the rates that we are afforded. So there used to be prescription drug type credits and things. So there's been years where this health benefit credit was $1 million. We haven't seen the likes of that in many, many years. So this likely will shrink. And because of that, there's a recommended motion here, but the board is obligated to consider this at this time. The town is aware of this, but they also know that it could shrink. So I'll turn it back to board chair for further discussion.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments or anything? I'll just add that when the times where this credit was $1 million, that's how we got buses in the past. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore, so go ahead, Ms. Weaver.
Just a question on the recommended motion. Didn't pass. So,
Town's final budget has passed.
so I just didn't know if we can still defer it. It has already passed.
Oh,
Yeah.
do we need the motion?
Do we need to have a motion to do this? So you're gonna do the budget adjustments when you do the budget adjustments. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can do the budget adjustments. I would still say that, it's a good question.
I mean, we can do budget adjustments now.
Can just defer it. Because we cannot, this money will not be known to us till the fall. So we can, I would say actually the motion should say that we should defer any budget adjustments until after the town's fiscal year has officially been passed. Any recommendations, Lynn, on your side?
I would just say to defer it until the final cost analysis has been done, because we can use it to defer next year's budget if it still exists next year.
Yeah, and in some conversations with our caucus, and it didn't go anywhere, but we had said like we know that, or we think that this credit might occur. So if you were to cut, you can cut maybe $500,000, and then we might be able to use that. So, but again, with the knowledge that it may deplete to zero and we wouldn't have anything, but yeah, I guess I'm confused at what the motion is for, because we can't really do anything. I think if we do get this, we'll have to finalize our budget before we know the final amount anyway, so like.
So
I don't know what we need
the board can certainly table this for now. And I also have.
Yeah, it's possible. We don't have to do it. Yeah, so the next is the report. Is that what you're sharing?
Right. Okay. Just by means of a little more explanation of how this works.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Stanley, I didn't see your hand.
So just if we table it, does it come up on an agenda in the future, or table it for, what does that mean?
If we need to make an action on it, yeah, but if we don't need to, then it wouldn't.
So if it still exists, we get informed, it gets earmarked to something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and I think I'm going to look at previous motions as well, because what we've done in the past is just agreed to use it as an offset in next year's budget, if in fact it exists after the budget.
Have this issue last year.
Correct, so I think we just have to revise the motion, so tabling it, and I suspect we'll be surfacing that at the next meeting. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we typically don't have a credit. Last year it was negative. So we haven't had this actually hopefully good problem in a while. But for board members that are curious, this, as I mentioned earlier, this is a historical perspective of the Health Benefit Fund and credit rather. And it started off back in '96, as I mentioned before my time. It was meant as a way to allow our health insurance costs to be, set by the town, stabilized, and not requiring the board to try to shoot in the dark, but rather get a recommended amount, put it in the budget with the safety net of knowing that if it were to be negative by the end of the fiscal year, that the town would make us whole. And then conversely, if it's positive. But Lynn, I think, when does the town have all the dust settled for this fiscal year? So that's typically when we will know whether this exists. So I think that motion should be revised to simply say, if there is still a remaining credit as of October 1, the board would like to use that as an offset to the budget. Again, we'll put that out as a budget, a motion at the next meeting for board consideration.
They actually know the number.
Your mic's not off.
The claims have to run out, so the usual run out period is at least 3 to 4 months. So then it would go against the previous years, correct?
Okay, that makes.
Yeah, and this is linked into your board packet, but this paragraph indicates by October 1st, there's a comprehensive review of the previous year's financial activities, and the settlement is determined. By settlement, that is the balance. And again, if it's a positive, we get a credit. If it's a negative, the town absorbs that. So, you know,
That wasn't last
That
year
you're-
negative?
it was, next year was negative 200,000 or so. This kind of gives you a snapshot. I don't, Lynn, this might be more of your wheelhouse, but basically some of our claims in real time that we've experienced. So these are just anything you want to speak to here, or it's just a accounting?
It's a guesstimate, actually, because I'm guessing that we're going to have that 3,837,107 in claims based on previous year's activity, plus a 3% margin. We do have a $175,000 cap that we pay because we have insurance that covers anything over 175,000, which picks up the catastrophic illnesses. But even so, we have so many members that I believe that if trends follow the way they did in the past, we'll eat up over 347,000 of that credit that we currently have.
Okay.
So the revised credit based on clearly projections is 166,980. So that is
not 500,000.
not 500,000, but again, estimate, and we can't possibly predict folks' medical
We do
expenditures.
not want any of our staff to get sick.
Well, of course
so-
not. We'd love everyone very
Yes,
healthy and not
yes.
needing any type of medical expenditures, but it's there if they need it.
If they need it, for sure. Okay.
So that is the history, and that is in your packet if you want to read up more on that. And the screen just did something wonky. Alrighty.
All right, so that was our last agenda item. Is there any other comments or questions on that? Okay, so we're all set.
We are.
Okay, so moving back to public participation on any matter related to board responsibilities. If I don't see anyone in the room, if you're online, you can raise your hand to be recognized, and you have 4 minutes. I am not seeing any hands. And remarks by board members. Ms. Weaver.
Quickly, just back to our Love Fest at the top. Just want to thank teachers, nurses, paras, Mike, Morgan, all of those things. It's just really cannot thank them enough. And I think my favorite way of saying that is you're going to get paid. I think that's the best way we can do that. But just want to say thank you to everyone, and thank you to our e-greeners. It makes me just so happy to see my cousin's in the 3rd grade at e-green as well. So just met some of her friends tonight, which was really fun, and just love having that and all of the haze and of this budget. But just want to come back to, like, this is a tough budget season. I don't know how we can really absorb all of the impact of a reval in a budget in one single budget. And I just don't think that's humanly possible. But I know there's so much that we're grappling with Newington, that we're grappling throughout the state. We're not the only district that is dealing with this. This is not an isolated incident. So I know this is just a hard struggle, but I appreciate everyone that is putting the time and effort into doing this. Again, especially to our electeds that volunteer to do this and have this time, but also all the admin, the teachers, the staff, town side as well, their staff, the amount of time and effort that goes into this. This is very much a labor. I don't know, labor of love sometimes, but it's definitely something that we could do. And especially shout out to, again, Care Educator Appreciation. Would love to appreciate you for giving benefits. So just want to say that. And we'll note too that our next meeting, I think we're meeting before, but policy we scheduled for May 11th. Thank you. Okay, so we're meeting before then. Just wanted to keep that. I know we didn't have committee updates tonight, so May 6th will be the next, and then policy May 11th. Just want to put that. Thanks, everyone.
Mr. Newton.
I think that we should take solace in the fact that West Hartford passed their budget last night as well, and their taxes were increased a lot more than ours was. The city of Hartford passed their budget with a $52 million deficit. So in some ways, I think we should be proud that we're doing what we're doing when you compare it to the bigger picture around here. Education costs money. It's an investment in our future. It's an investment in our town. We do owe the taxpayers reasonableness to show where the funds are going, but we still need to keep in mind that we're not the town council, we're the Board of Education. Our function is to the children and the taxpayers. The town council answers to other people, I don't want to say games, I don't want to offend anybody, but other people have ideas. They want to spend money different ways. I've lived here 30 years. I haven't enjoyed taxes. I came here, it was $1,000 a year for the entire budget. So, you know, we have to understand that as we grow, whether it's slowly or rapidly or however, expansion costs money and maintaining services costs money. And with that, that's all I have to say.
Go ahead, Tony.
Just want to remind the board that tomorrow at 10 at Wallace, the governor will be here for a press conference to announce or endorse the free universal breakfast for all. And if you are on a reduced price lunch, free lunch, and this is something that Representative Turco has also endorsed. So there'll be some dignitaries there tomorrow, including Board Chair Parati and the mayor, but you're all welcome. And it is being hosted at John Wallace. And then the governor is actually going to serve a little lunch in the course of of the event.
It looks like a good lunch too.
Including a chef's hat and apron, as I'm told. So I just wanted to put that out there again.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:36 p.m.